In the past, we've done movie reviews of older movies, so we're going to do a movie review of a very old movie, which is the original King Kong, which Rachel watched some time ago.
Obviously not exactly when it came out. I've watched it since then on account of I wasn't born. But, yeah, the original King Kong, basically, was originally released in 1933, so it's a very early film, and it definitely looks like it. It's in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And
there was no colour then.
Yeah, colour wasn't invented until much later. So, it's pretty much this iconic film. You've got him scaling the Empire State Building.
Play-Doh woman in hand.
As a film itself, it's actually pretty good, particularly for the time in which it was made. The animation of Kong and the other creatures that are on the island.
Is there a dinosaur? I feel like there's a T-Rex.
Yep,
okay.
Fights a T-Rex. So that entire sequence, you watch it now and you think, oh, come on. But when you think of how they actually made that with the stop motion, which is I think how they made it, it's actually extremely well done for the time in which it was made. And considering scale between Kong and then the human beings, it's very good. The production itself, in terms of sets and costumes, is very good. I think the acting, that's where you can really see the difference.
Okay.
Not so much in good and bad acting, but just the characterization of particularly the female character.
Okay.
Which is, what's her name?
I don't know.
Thingy Darrow. No, that's the...
I've never seen a King Kong movie. I've seen bits and pieces of the old one when I was at a Christmas party once. It was playing in the bar that we were in, but which is weird.
What?
Because it was on a big screen, like a projector, but we're in a like a club, and I just found that really strange. Like, why would a club be playing King Kong? But
that is weird, actually.
Yes, continue.
Yeah, it was Darrow. It was Anne Darrow, played by Fay Wray. Basically, she is this quintessential 30s female character in a film.
Okay.
And particularly in a monster film. She's definitely the victim of the whole thing, even though that character could be quite a strong character, given that she's kind of out on the streets when the director first meets her. But, yeah, she's just kind of wandering around, this helpless little victim. And then you've got the other guys on the boat who are quite... Am I allowed to say dick?
I don't think so.
Well, they're not nice guys. In terms of how they kind of treat this woman in general, their attitude towards her. That's really kind of uncomfortable to watch, and there's a few
but is it meant to be uncomfortable?
There's some moments of some kind of racial interactions that probably wouldn't fly today as well.
Because is it meant to be like that? Is it meant to be, is it meant to be uncomfortable, or is it just meant to be like, this is what happened at the time? We don't see this as being uncomfortable in any way because this is how things are.
I don't think it was meant to be as uncomfortable as it was.
Okay.
The lines, the way they're delivered is very cardboard in many ways. Yeah. Okay. It's not very much. They just sound like they're reading the lines for some of the time. The exception would be Robert Armstrong as the director, Carl Denham. He's actually pretty good. The others, like I said, not so great. But the story itself, if you've seen the modern film, it's very much on that same track. Okay. So the film is pretty much the same thing. They go to film this movie.
Giant monkey appears.
Yep, giant monkey appears, take him back to New York, show him up to the world. Scales the Empire State Building, gets gunned down, and film. So that's pretty much the same thing, but I actually think that the new movie is better.
Okay, in what way?
In terms of, the acting, and I think the characters are slightly...
More believable?
Yeah, more believable, and just delivered better, I think. And it's interesting, because obviously Jack Black, who plays the director in the new one, doesn't he?
Jack Black? I don't know.
No, you're looking at me really... Not Jack Black, what was I... No. Oh, what's his name?
I don't know what his name is. Jack Black's that comedian, though. Is that who you're thinking of?
No, it is a comedian who plays him. I'm going to look this up. Give me a second.
School of Rock. Tenacious D.
No, I know who Jack Black is, but I'm pretty sure he played...
I don't know.
Let me...
I know it was directed by Peter Jackson.
Well, it definitely wasn't Peter Jackson.
He didn't play the director?
Yeah, it was Jack Black as Carl Denham, yeah. because I thought he was really good because obviously everyone knows him from his comedies. But he played that dramatic role really well. So the characters in general were just better in this one, in the latest one. But I think the technology, even though it does look better and obviously more realistic in the latest version, I don't think that the lack of technology in the original is a particularly
like it doesn't let the film down in any way.
No, I think that it's actually very good.
Yeah, the film would be just as good or bad without that technology as it was with it.
Yeah, there are definitely some extended battle scenes between Kong and the dinosaur, and then there's Kong and another dinosaur. And they're obviously in, I think, both 1933 with the stop motion and then 2005 with the CGI. Both films are really trying to show off
the technology of the time.
The technology of the time. And it's just not really part of the story.
So those fight scenes, though, you said they went on for a bit too long. Because I was watching Ben-Hur the other day, which I do quite like that movie. I've seen it a couple of times. It is quite long, though.
If we're talking about scenes that go on, Ben-Hur is up for that.
So Ben-Hur is quite an old movie, and there's this scene with the chariots where he's a chariot racer at one point. His many, many jobs that he did throughout his life. Well, jobs, air quotations. And there's the scene at the beginning of the chariot race where they parade around the track, but that takes forever. Like, they'll go all the way around the track, like, twice. And I feel like that's something in today's movies they wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Because it's just unnecessary. Like, you can show them going past one section of the crowd and waving or whatever, and you know that they've done the lap of the track. You don't actually have to show it. And I feel like old movies did this a lot. They kind of extended things out.
Yeah, some people say that modern audiences just have a shorter attention span, that we need things kind of babied down for us. But I think that, we're just better at... I think sometimes it's just better storytelling to tell something within a few frames or within a couple of minutes than to have it drawn out.
Yeah, cut out the unnecessary stuff. I understand what they mean by short attention spans, but if it's beneficial to the story, leave it in. If it's not, take it out.
Yeah, if it's a guy parading around an arena, or if it's a giant monkey fighting a dinosaur.
See, but that was my problem with, and I just mentioned it was always in old movies, but even with the newest movie I've seen, which was Man of Steel, the fight scenes in that were really extended.
I've heard a lot of people say the exact same thing, that this is one giant fight scene. They're like, why am I still watching this? Is this really necessary?
Yeah, see, I think that movie would have been so much better, because that fight scene, it's just too long. Like, it's a good movie, and I just feel like that was too much. And I think people expect really big kind of, in superhero movies especially, really big, special effects and massive fight scenes and, like, buildings getting destroyed. And look at the Avengers and stuff like that. People expect this stuff. But then it just went on just way too long. I think old movies did that a lot.
Yeah.
Let's just add extra.
The original, well, it's not so much the original because 300 wasn't an adaptation, but the 300 Spartans, I think that was made during the 70s. Basically the same story. It was telling the story of Thermopylae. But yeah, that had the same thing, just a lot of battle scenes.
And you just
a lot of talking scenes that kind of didn't make sense either.
Okay.
Maybe, you know what, I'm going to review that next week.
Okay, I might watch that actually.
Yep. So I would give King Kong, the original, out of 10, I'd give it a 7. I think it's definitely worth a watch.
Okay.
Just purely out of curiosity to see that piece of cinema and to see that genre of cinema in that age as well.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to modern monster movies, or if you watch a classic, it's going to be Gone with the Wind or Casablanca or something that doesn't have those...
special effects.
Yeah.
So what would you give the new movie, though? What would you give the new movie?
I'd give the new movie probably an 8. Okay. It's executed a lot better. I think it definitely cleared up some of the character problems of the original one, particularly to do with racism and sexism that was in there. It was really painful to watch. There's this particular scene between Darrow and her love interest, the jerky guy.
The giant monkey? What?
No. Sort of the giant monkey. But, yeah, and it's just, are we serious?
What, like...
Is this honestly how people spoke to each other back in 1933?
Probably was.
How did anyone get a girlfriend and not get punched in the face?
Yes.
Somebody tried that now? Oh, they'd be in trouble.
All right, well, let's go into our next block of songs and go and watch the original King Kong if you can find it. Because it was hard to find. So after the break, we'll be talking about sports people in the media, really. Should sports people be role models?
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. So get home.
Talking about racism,
Back
Rachel.
in black. Yeah, we'll be back. So get all of your comments on Sports People up on Facebook. This is Metric on 2BACR 100.9 FM.